Hi there, this is Chris, the chap in the cap from Motolegends, here today to talk to you about a mesh jacket from our French friends at Helstons in Paris. The jacket is called the Modelo Mesh. So this is the Modelo mesh jacket from Helstons, not to be confused with the Modelo leather jacket. This is a £129 jacket. The Modelo is $379. The Modelo leather is $379. Now, if we go back over the history of mesh jackets, the fact is that many of them have never been or have not been particularly protective. You would get typically a kind of nylon outer shell that was more or less abrasion resistant, and then that was filled in with panels of mesh. That mesh has absolutely no strength at all. Yes, it would flow the air, it would feel great on a hot day, but if you had an accident, that mesh would just tear apart. There'd be no strength to jackets like that. So we haven't always been massive fans of those cheap and cheerful mesh jackets. Now, this is a slight exception because in my view, this is still cheap and cheerful, but I think it's a notch above most of that kind of jacket in terms of the protection that it delivers. And what this jacket has, it has a liner, an anti-abrasion or an abrasion-resistant liner. Now, that's both good and bad. It's good because it's going to make this jacket stronger. This jacket is CE approved. It's not actually CE approved, I don't want to bore you to death, but it's not CE approved under EN 17092. The French had a special dispensation. They created their own EN regulations a couple of years ago, and they're still allowed to use that. This is classified under the old EN 13595 regulations as an urban jacket. So this would only still be an A-rated jacket in my view if they did go for EN 17092. But many of those cheaper jackets that I'm talking about that we've seen over the years, they wouldn't qualify at all. You're going to need to get one of these jackets CE approved. You're going to need something in here in the zone A areas that makes it stronger and more abrasion resistant. And that obviously you have. Now the downside of that is it's going to flow less air. The jackets that were just a chassis with a mesh panel here, they flowed huge amounts of air, and that was great. So if you were going out on a really hot day, they felt fantastic. But if you'd had an accident in one of them, there wasn't much in the chassis, and certainly the mesh lining would just fall apart. So there was no protection in them, and people bought them thinking it's a proper motorcycle jacket, it's got armour in, it must be up to the job. But before the new CE regulations, there was no way of monitoring the standard, no way of monitoring the safety. So that's one of the good things that the new legislation has brought in. It's given us a minimum base layer. You can no longer produce something, call it motorcycle wear, and deliver absolutely no protection. Anyway, let's talk through the rest of the features of this jacket because it's quite a nice jacket. One of the things that we like about it, comes in this colour, comes in a brown as well. From a few metres, it just looks like a leather jacket. So it doesn't look like a mesh jacket. You could wear it easily all day, wander around town off the bike, and it just looks like a regular jacket. You've got 4 external pockets here, main zip, all YKK zips. Everyone knows we love YKK. If a company is going to use YKK zips, we know that they are committed to quality. You've got an internal Napoleon pocket as well. One thing that I've got to say is none of these pockets are waterproof, and that's because the jacket's not waterproof. So even if you use the internal pocket, that's not going to give you much more protection than any of these because water's just going to flow into them. In terms of adjustability, you've got a 2-popper adjuster here at the waist, so you can cinch the waist. You've got the classic 3-popper adjuster here with a zip on the cuff. Classic in that the 3rd popper on all Helstons jackets is ridiculous because by the time you go onto the 3rd popper, you could barely get a finger through the sleeve hole, so it's really just a 2-popper arrangement. Armour, one of the good things about Helstons is that all of their jackets, I can't think that there's any exception, all of their jackets come fully supplied not only with shoulder and elbow armour but also in the back as well. And it's pretty nice armour. It's not the vented stuff that you get in with D3O, but it is super soft. So this is the armour. These days we're talking a lot about upgrading armour from some brands to put in the latest D3O. I don't think this would have any benefit because this is a super soft armour. As it heats up next to the body, it's going to get softer still. So, and obviously it meets the CE standard. So no case for changing this armour, and actually it's about as comfortable as armour gets. There is one area of debate with this jacket. It used to come with a waterproof membrane, a waterproof jacket that you then wore underneath. So you could carry it around with you, and then if it rained, obviously you could take this jacket off and put it underneath. That is no longer part of the spec of this jacket. And I suspect that what happened when they had to upgrade it to get it through the CE regulations, that would have cost a fair amount of money. They have decided to take away the removable component. Now, if you look on the web, you will find certain people, certainly when we're making this video, we looked on a number of sites, including Helstons' own site, that says that this jacket comes with a waterproof membrane. I can assure you it doesn't, and if you order it from anywhere else, it won't either. So this jacket, even without a membrane, considering it's got all the armour, £129, it's cheap as chips, it's a great jacket, it's going to flow air reasonably well, not as well as some of those did historically, but if you go down the road, the trade-off is you're going to feel safe in this jacket. So I think a great value for money, this is the one to wear. So I hope you enjoyed the review. If you want to see more Helstons gear, then visit the website motolegends.com. If you want to learn more about this particular jacket, then if you click on one of the links on the page, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you directly to the relevant page on our website. There you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, you can check out availability, and obviously if you want to buy one of these jackets, you can do that there and then. Now, when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on anything you buy from us, returns are free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. Our price promise is the best in the business. Now, John Lewis is rightly famed for their never knowingly undersold promise. We go one stage better. If you can find anything that we sell being sold by one of our competitors at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat their price by a full 10%. Now, that's for retailers in the UK. If the retailer is in the EU, we will match their landed price. There are a few terms and conditions, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, then I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. Now, if in the future you'd like to receive email bulletins from us about new products, then if you go to the website, at the top of every page, there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there, within seconds you'll be in business, you'll receive bulletins from us in future. If, however, you would prefer to get your information videographically, in other words, in this form, we would be simply delighted if you wanted to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Now, this is 2020, and before the end of the year, we're going to be giving away a motorbike to a YouTube subscriber. We're calling the bike a Steve McQueen tribute bike. It's actually based on a 125cc Mutt machine. It's a lovely little cutie. You can read more about it on the front page of our website or on the home page of our YouTube channel. But you have to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be announcing the winner just before Christmas this year. Finally, I'd like to make a play for our fabulous little shop here in Guildford. We're about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. As I've suggested, the shop itself is not huge, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £2 million worth of gear arranged over 3 floors. Technically, it makes us the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. But we think that we are far more than just the quantity of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star rating in the business. When you come and see us, we'll sit down, we'll have a chat with you. We'll serve you only the finest Italian illy coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And if you're lucky, you might even get to taste one of Sean's mum's delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.